B. Call 585-360-0094. Give Miriam Rivera a call. Hey, it's kids are graduating college real soon. They get high school coming the next couple of months, May and June. Get those insurance. If they get them a hoopty or get them a ride, go see Miriam. She can help you get that insurance to fit the needs of your family or your health, or even life insurance, or even home insurance, homeowner insurance for that home of yours. You want to keep that home straight. So keep that in mind. And J-Gillz, our next guest is up, and it's Darrell Jazz Johnson. He's a sports and entertainment journalist. He began his career back in 2010, and he's been covering a wide variety of NBA, NFL, and I know right now he's covering the New York Knicks and the New York Nets. And welcome to Real Deal Sports Show, Darrell. How you doing this morning?
Pretty good. How are you?
Great. Glad to have you on the show. You're covering the Nets and Knicks during this playoff season?
During the season, yes. With the playoffs beginning today, the Knicks are in Cleveland, and the Brooklyn Nets are in Philadelphia playing the 76ers.
And what do you think for this? Let's start with the Knicks at Cleveland. We have a lot of Knicks fans here, a lot of Knicks listeners. Since you've been covering them throughout the season, what do you think are their chances of winning? What are the keys for them to defeat the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Well, I know Knicks fans aren't going to like this. Even if Julius Randle was healthy, obviously the Knicks have a chance, but I would lean toward Cleveland winning a tough series, with Julius Randle having an ankle injury and not even being 100% coming into game one. We don't even know. There's still a chance he might sit out game one. We know Julius Randle is tough, so I would expect him to play, but I don't expect him to be 100%. Julius Randle is the best player on the Knicks, leads the Knicks in scoring, leads the Knicks in rebounds, was the Knicks' only all-star this season. And if he isn't healthy, the Knicks have less of a chance to compete with the young talent of Donovan Mitchell, and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
All right, J-Gillz.
Say that again.
Oh, I was asking J-Gillz.
Darrell, good friend of the show, Darrell, man. Good to have you on the show, man. But when we talk about the Knicks, and it's going to be a dogfight. Cleveland's no chumps. But when I look at the Knicks, especially since the last time they made the playoffs in that horrid series against the Atlanta Hawks, when I look at what the Knicks have now, a 6 Man of the Year candidate in Emmanuel Quickley, a great facilitator like Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle coming back, not having to be the Julius Randle that we saw 2 years ago, having to carry the offense, facilitate the offense, and carry the team on his back. I'm looking at this Knicks squad, I'm looking at the depth with Obi Toppin and those boys, Evan Fournier, and I look at that team as being a better team than the Cleveland Cavaliers. And looking forward, even with Julius Randle in that health, Jalen Brunson in that health, the team that they have right now compared to 2 years ago, I think that they can go into Cleveland, even though it's a road series for them, and get the job done. I want to know what makes Cleveland so much better. Why are you picking the Cavaliers to upset your New York Knicks?
Well, first of all, what you just said about the Knicks, Evan Fournier has not played most of the season. Coming off the bench, Obi Toppin has played more minutes recently, but he struggles to rebound the ball. Obi Toppin is a big fan favorite, but the simple key to why he doesn't get more minutes is he doesn't rebound the ball. He's 6'9", 6'10", very athletic, but has no desire to bang on the defensive boards, and that's a problem for a New York Knicks team. That's a problem in the NBA. That's a problem for a Tom Thibodeau team. Emmanuel Quickley is great, but when you look at an 82-game schedule in the NBA, obviously the Cleveland Cavaliers were a better team than the New York Knicks over an 82-game schedule. They also have the explosiveness. The best player in the series by far is Donovan Mitchell. And in the playoffs, teams with the best team, with the best player, generally win. Uh, Cleveland has depth too. Cleveland has size. Um, I got to see the first few years of Jared Allen's career because he was with the Brooklyn Nets. He made it. He was an All Star last year with Cleveland. They have uh, Evan Mobley, who adds even more size for Cleveland. So that is a stacked roster. And yes, obviously the Knicks are better than they are or they were 2 years ago, but so is the East. So is Milwaukee. So is Boston. So is Philadelphia. So is Cleveland. So the Knicks are better than they were 2 years ago, but so are the teams that finished first, second, third, and fourth in the Eastern Conference in 2023.
Okay. Okay. Who are your favorites? Go ahead, J-Gillz. My bad. Go ahead.
No, I just think that we got to give the Knicks a lot more credit, especially you've watched them play this 82 game season. You've watched them play defense. You've watched the Knicks be banged up throughout the end later part of the season. Let's not forget Jalen Brunson, when him and Randall were on the court together, they were a two team tandem that was going through the Eastern Conference. And it's what solidified them that fifth seed. I just think that our memories might be a little shot because they couldn't really finish the season. They ran into injury issues towards the later part of the season. But I think as we watch this team come out this first series, a lot of people are going to be reminded just who the Knicks are.
I don't know whose memory is shot. I've watched the team all year. As I said at the beginning, even if Julius Randle was healthy, I would have still picked the Cleveland Cavaliers to win a tough series in seven. So I don't know what you're seeing in this team that I've seen in person all season. And I've seen Cleveland in person as well. I obviously don't watch Cleveland every day, but again, what you do over an 82 game season is why Cleveland has the 4 seed, the Knicks have the 5 seed. And at the end of the day, in a clutch situation, who do you trust more? Game is tied, 2 minutes left. The Knicks are going to Randall and Brunson. The Cavaliers are going to somebody that we've seen do it over and over again in the playoffs. I'm going to go with Cleveland in a close game. I grew up a Knicks fan. I would love for the Knicks to win. But if you're asking me who's going to win, I'm going to say the Cleveland Cavaliers. And it has nothing to do with me forgetting about the teams that I've watched all season. It's actually the fact that I've seen them all season. I've seen the high points. I've seen the low points. I've seen the struggles. But Cleveland is a better team.
All righty, Darrell. Now, the Nets, I know when we were out in Phoenix and those trades were just taking place with KD going to Phoenix while we were out there covering Super Bowl 57, we all were talking about it. And you made some really valid points about the Nets, and it seemed to come true just the way you said they were going to be very competitive, and the team that they had after the trade would be very competitive. Do they have any type of chance of winning this first round playoff series or pulling an upset?
I would give them a very small chance. I guess there's always a chance. One thing that as we talked about in Phoenix, a lot of people weren't familiar with some of the players the Nets were getting in those trades, and we have seen since obviously Phoenix got Durant, and they're the favorites for a lot of people to win it all. But Dallas gave up talent in getting Kyrie, and we saw the way Luka and the Mavericks fell apart after that trade. Mikal is was the third or fourth option in Phoenix, and now we see why they did not want to get rid of him. He's played like an all-star with the Brooklyn Nets. And if he can keep that level of play up next year, he will be an all-star in a Brooklyn Nets jersey. We have not seen the best of him. So if he can potentially take it to another level, and if the Brooklyn Nets are somehow able to contain Joel Embiid, which I don't see how they can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Claxton is a very athletic center for Brooklyn. He's great on the defensive end with his ability to switch on picks and do a good job defensively on guards, but he can't bang in a post with Joel Embiid. No one can really, but he's too uh, too slender to be able to do that. So I think that's unfortunately the bottom line in the series. Um, Brooklyn will not be able to contain Joel Embiid, and I see them losing in 5 or 6. But if they were to have a chance, uh, Mikal would have to play out of his mind. Um, the Nets would have to shoot well from the three, and they would
Mm-hmm.
have to get Joel Embiid consistently in foul trouble or force him to turn the ball over, frustrate him. And, Harden would have to be more of the Harden we saw last year in Philadelphia and not be able to facilitate and score the ball like he did a couple of years ago in Houston.
All right.
Um,
Well,
that would have to happen.
what would the Nets need to improve for next year? Quickly, as we're starting to run out of time, but what do you feel the Nets need to do to improve their team?
That's tough. You know, that's the past couple of seasons they went into the season thinking they could win it all.
Right.
When you have Kevin Durant, when you have Kyrie Irving, when you have James Harden at the beginning of the previous season, you go into the season uh, planning to win it all. The Nets will not have that, obviously, um, going into next season. But it's not a rebuild either because they have talented players. It's up to the organization has to make a decision on what they want to be. They went after the big stars. That didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Do they want to get some complementary pieces to the team? Are they going to try to build through the draft? Are they going to try to trade the assets they have for more draft capital? That organization needs to really sit down and see what their future is.
Okay. And who's your league MVP, and who do you think will take it? Who you think are going to win the NBA championship?
Joel Embiid and the Milwaukee Bucks. I believe if Middleton did not get hurt last season, remember that tough Boston Milwaukee series last year. If Chris Middleton plays,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Milwaukee beats Boston. I think they get to the NBA Finals. I think they would have beat the Golden State Warriors. Uh, and the East is tough. Boston, Milwaukee is going to be a tough series. But if Chris Middleton is healthy, I think Milwaukee gets past uh, the Boston Celtics and wins it all. Phoenix against Milwaukee would be a tough series, a rematch of the finals from 2 seasons ago with the addition of Kevin Durant. That would be a great series, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not 100% sure Phoenix will make it out the West. The West is so dangerous. Will one of the young teams, um, like a Denver #1 seed, make it out? Will Phoenix make it out? Will Golden State? Will the Lakers magically put it together and get out the West? Will the Clippers? Will Paul George come back healthy? The
Right.
West is so tough to pick, but I will stick with the Milwaukee Bucks to win their second title in 3 years.
All right, Darrell Jazz Johnson. Thank you for coming on Real Deal Sports Show. How can people follow you, get in contact with you, and check out your commentaries?
Absolutely. I usually post the things that I write on Twitter. Twitter is at Jazz Johnson 10. The number 10JAZZJOHNSON 10. Instagram is Jazz Johnson 1, JAZZJOHNSON the number 1. And DMs are open. So if you want to talk sports, you just all those Knicks fans out there, you disagree with something I said, holla at me.
All right, there. And your New York state of mind. There you go, Darrell Jazz Johnson. Thank you for coming on the show. We're gonna have you back real soon because I know you're gonna have a lot to say. Probably when we get to the finals or the conference championship series, Darrell. Thanks for coming on the show.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, take care. There you have it, Darrell Jazz Johnson. Hey, he's gonna tell it like the world according to Darrell Jazz Johnson and J-Gillz. You have some good points as well there. So we look forward to having them back